my body does not know how to perceive that type of speed. It feels like blacking out because you're just not able to like take much in.
It's kind of like a quick cocaine break, you know?
Yeah, absolutely.
Casual cocaine break. Alrighty, everybody, we are here on location. You already know what it is. Josh is doing another first ride on a bike, and today's the special one. ZH2.
Man, these are good days. And the ZH2, goodness.
Yeah.
I've got butterflies.
You should. So, as many of you guys know, this is our giveaway ZH2 and our giveaway RS660. Hit the links down below to yammie.co. Find out how you can get entered to win both of these amazing machines. They're separate sweepstakes. This is our expert bike. That's our intermediate bike. We also have beginner bikes and a modern classic bike as well, too. So, something for everybody. Josh, I think you know the specs on this bike pretty well.
Yep.
It's a supercharged 998cc engine with this Brock's system and everything else. We believe it's making well over 200 horsepower at this point. It certainly feels like it is whenever I get on the gas. It's got quick shifter up and down, cruise control, fancy electronics, but it's kind of like a big puppy dog of a bike. It's very comfortable. So anything you think about it, or?
No, I mean, everybody knows this bike, right? Everybody knows it, and everyone is excited to see it. I love the Brock's performance package that we put on it. Just driving behind you, it sounds amazing. And we're about to find out if it's stupid fast.
I think it is. I think you don't even need to really ride it to know that it is stupid fast.
As long as it doesn't buck me off.
No, it will not. It has wheelie control. You should be good. So I think this is going to be the fastest bike you've ever ridden. You've ridden the Hayabusa, which is basically like leader bike fast. You've ridden the V2, the F3800, some of the other quick bikes. So I'm not sure if the power is going to like surprise you. I think it's going to surprise you the way it makes the power.
Yeah. I'm excited. I have not a lot of experience with inline four bikes.
Yeah.
So I'm really excited about that, and I'm riding a supercharged one now, which is going to be crazy. It's probably going to give me a warped perception of how they are, but that's okay. We'll sort that out later.
Yeah, we'll put you in therapy later and figure it out.
Good. No, the ZH2 is such a, oh my gosh. Like we were just talking about how excited we are that they didn't just make the H2. They gave us a comfy naked version of this platform. And we've all pretty much fallen in love with it, so I'm excited to ride it.
Swing a leg, dude. Let's see.
All right, a little heavy. Definitely heavier than the RS660.
I think it's like 530 or 540 curb weight on that.
Oh my gosh, it's ridiculously comfortable.
I know, right?
Jeez.
Pretty awesome.
Yeah. The seat keeps you upright. It's got like enough of a lip behind you as well. Just really situates you in your seated position.
Yeah.
The bars are not far forward at all. They feel fantastic.
Yeah. Well, turn it on, dude. So as I mentioned, I got you started in sport mode because I know you like to party. So
that's right. Wow, you like hardly even feel it wake up when you start it.
Yeah, it starts up really quick. It just kind of gets to life. That smoothness of the inline four. Let's not rev it too much because we got these folks over here and we don't want to scare them. So let's get out on the road.
Let's get out of here. Wow, a lot of cool information on the dash here, and it's colorful. I like this TFT dash.
Yeah, what's cool is even the Ninja 650, the new ones have that same TFT dash, so it's kind of nice that Kawai's doing that on their lower level bikes as well.
Wow, it pulls you to go when you start letting the clutch out.
Yeah, it's like, oh, we're going? Let's go. Let's
go, this thing likes to go. Right. Wow, the quick shifter's cool. Man, it like barely interrupts the acceleration.
Yeah, it's a super sharp little quick shifter on that bike. It just goes like right into the next gear. It's really awesome.
Yeah, that's crazy cool. Yep, first gear wheelie. Okay.
Yeah, a lot of juice on tap, like I told you.
Wow, it totally saved my butt. I love wheelie control.
Did you get on it in first gear?
Yeah, a little bit too much. Yeah, it totally saved me though. It was like, no.
It's like, no, you're asking a whole lot. Let's calm down.
Settle down, young gun.
Yeah, that's a bike you can't really just like whack the throttle. You have to always roll into it smooth. Otherwise it'll interrupt and it'll start doing stuff.
Yeah, I mean, I have the image burned in my mind of was it you or Jake on the Super Duke taking it to about 9 o'clock?
Oh, that was Spite for sure. Yeah, he left the shop and he just had both his feet dangling as the bike hit about 11 o'clock.
Yeah. I have that image of Spite doing that burnt into my head. So it definitely scares me to wheelie bikes.
Yeah, you're on the wrong machine then.
This feels awesome though.
Isn't it comfortable?
Yeah, it's super comfortable and smooth. It's like not crazy vibrational on your butt. You feel it in the bars a little bit, but you don't feel it in your butt, which is very different than that RS. Wow, I kind of like leaving it at high RPMs because it sounds so good.
Yeah, the auditory experience is awesome on that bike.
It feels like I don't have any earplugs in.
Yeah, that's a good way of putting it. Yeah, sometimes when I ride it, I'm like, are my earplugs in all the way? Like, am I sure? Fuck, this is so loud. Yeah, and I can hear that little supercharger whistle. It's so awesome.
Oh, yep, the crack and the burblies. Man, wow. Yeah, the sound and the feel of this bike is definitely not like anything I've ever ridden.
Yeah, it's really different from other hyper naked bikes that I've ridden because it's just all about the absolute grunt of the engine. It doesn't really care about handling that well. It doesn't really care about ground clearance. I mean, I found the pegs on that bike at the track pretty easily. So it's just a fun bike, man. It's just made for going fast in a straight line. It's awesome.
Yeah. Well, and being my height, my legs feel so straight because the seat's decently high up and the pegs, like you said, are pretty low. And compared to most sport bikes, my legs are very, very straight. More so even than my SV, more so than, yeah, a lot of bikes with handlebars.
Yeah.
Man.
Just the shake of the head, just Jesus Christ. Ah, we got all this traffic. What
is going on?
Come on. What a bummer.
They must be doing construction on the bridge or something.
Yeah. Oh, that sucks. I was hoping you could feel out the power a little bit on that thing on 360. That's the whole reason we started here. Yeah, it's such an aggressive looking motorcycle. You can really tell it's something different. If you know anything about bikes, you're like, yeah, that's a different kind of machine, isn't it?
Absolutely, and especially if you hear it too. You know, I think like 600s, everyone puts the really loud pipes on them, and they have this like high-pitched whiny drone as they go down the street. And this has a drone, but it's so different and so low, and yeah, sounds awesome. It is very easy to ride. You're right about that. Crazy easy.
Yeah, I love that they did that, where it's like, I mean, even Whitney, who's not a super big kind of sport bike kind of person, you know, she jumped on the ZH2 and she called it a Centaur and super comfortable. And yeah, it's so easy to ride. Like a bike that makes that much power should not be that easy to ride.
Yeah, exactly. No, the ergonomics and the handling, I mean, it's like the MT-03 or something like that. Just the seating position, how low your pegs are,
yeah.
how far the handlebars come back to you.
That's why it's a beginner bike, dude. It's
an awesome beginner bike.
Very friendly little beginner bike. Yeah, I feel like you got into it a little bit, but man, I really want you to get into it some more because it's so fun to feel the power on that thing.
Yeah, I also really want to do that. It does feel a little heavy and a little, like when you're going really slow, like if I'm trying to just poodle and like balance it in first gear in this traffic, it's not the MT-03 for those jobs.
No, it's a big bike. It's compact, but it is a big bike. That was the first thing I noticed when I jumped back on the RS versus that. I was like, oh man, this is so lightweight and nimble. It's so awesome because this weighs like, I think 140 pounds less than that bike. It also makes 110 less horsepower, so there's that.
Probably makes a small difference.
However, I'm pretty sure that my times on the ZH2 and my times on this at ECR were about the same, which is hilarious.
That is nuts.
Yeah, just because that bike is so hard to ride. At pace, anyways.
But you're thinking, you know, if you had time to set up the RS660 and practice with it, it would be the faster track bike than this one, surely, right?
I believe so, yeah, just because the ZH2's ground clearance kind of sucks, and it's just really hard to actually access the power that it can deliver. So for me and my skill set, I'd be faster on an RS660 for sure. And then it's weird because you look at the times on my Daytona, and that's 11 seconds faster than what I did on this. So it's all about setup and how you feel on the bike, really, much more than horsepower itself. I think a lot of folks think that you go to the track with something with 200 horsepower and it's going to be so fast, but not exactly, you know?
It's all about how confident are you to ride faster and faster
Yeah.
and faster and just push harder and harder and harder beyond what feels comfortable or beyond what you know where you know it's going to happen.
Yeah.
Or is predictable, I guess.
Yeah.
So this suspension, I'm seeing that like the top on the left is different than the top on the right. Is it fully adjustable front suspension?
It's fully adjustable. It has independent rebound and compression versus preload. So one of the forks is preload only, and then the other fork is rebound and compression.
Interesting, okay.
Yeah. God, it sounds so good.
Yeah, if you own this bike, you totally will completely know how to make exactly the sounds you want, like playing an instrument.
Yeah.
Like that crack, the quick shifter popping. It predictably makes all of these crazy cool sounds. This thing is awesome. Yeah, it's like, yeah, gosh, it feels like a slingshot. Like when you twist your wrist, like there's like a brief second, and then you're just gone.
Yeah, it doesn't need to wind out like any other inline four. It just goes instantly.
Yeah, that was fourth gear at 45 or 50 miles an hour. I mean, I do want to try a launch control at some point.
I don't know if that has launch control.
I don't think it would either. That seems kind of crazy. This isn't a drag bike, but like on a S1000 or on something, it would be so cool to feel that.
My dirt bike apparently has it, and I'm too scared to try it.
Your dirt bike?
Yeah, my 250 dirt bike has launch control, yeah. I remember when Brandon told me that when I bought it off of him. He was like, oh yeah, it's got launch control. I was like, what? Why?
Well, that thing will probably loop as easy as this bike would, I would assume, if it hooks up.
Absolutely. All right, feel it out, Josh.
Oh, that is so cool. Oh my goodness. Oh, wow. Yeah, the front wheel just hovers.
Yeah, it just hovers in like second, third, fourth gear.
Well, you can kind of tell that the bike is just keeping it there too. The bike is like, all right, I'm not gonna let this go up any higher, and you're gonna float here above 3 inches above the ground. Man, that is so crazy. Jeez. And it does feels weird to tuck behind these handlebars. That felt nuts. I've never felt anything like that.
Yeah, you can do it again right now if you want.
This is a great time. Oh, I love it! Oh, man. This is not good. Man.
That was a nice little wheelie you caught yourself there.
Yeah?
Your blinker's on, by the way.
Huh. I should have had the hazards on.
It's ridiculous, isn't it?
Man. Wow. This thing is so fast. This is incredible. You don't even know how fast you're going.
No, you don't. Until you look down, you're like, oh, I'm doing like a $140. That's nuts.
Yeah, like my body does not know how to perceive that type of speed. It feels like blacking out because you're just not able to like take much in.
That's a great way of putting it. You just black out from the speed. Oh, that's funny.
Because you're not taking in much space around you, obviously. It's too much of it going by. Wow, that is so much fun.
Yeah, it's super addictive. And again, like, it's awesome because you pull up to a stop and you're like, oh, I'm like perfectly comfortable. This is awesome.
Yeah, that's crazy. And it wheelies like really well, it seems. Like it takes care of you. Like, I don't know how to wheelie at all.
Yeah, it looked like when you got on that wheelie, you kind of just rolled off the gas a little bit, but I think it was the bike just doing all that, right?
Probably, yeah. Like I said, I blacked out.
I don't want to hear that when you're on my bike. You're like, I just blacked out. I wasn't seeing anything.
No, I definitely felt it come up, and I felt the wheel, twist a little bit, so I eased off and was like, okay. But I think that was in third gear, maybe even fourth gear.
Yeah, I think that was third because I saw you hit the quick shifter and then the front wheel just lifted. And yeah, that's nuts that it does that in third gear at like 80 miles per hour.
Right. This bike is nuts. Yeah, I can't believe people are just going around making stuff like this.
Yeah, right?
Yeah, everyone needs to ride a ZH2. Once you know how to ride, it's not a beginner bike.
No, we said that it's just like an MT-03, so it's totally a beginner bike.
Well, it's a good second bike if you start on MT-03. All of you guys out there with MT-03s, this is your next step.
It's a nice little progression upwards.
I mean, I'm sure the MT-10 has nothing on this bike.
No, it really doesn't. It's a different type of beast altogether. It handles a lot better, and it has a beautiful R1 sound. It's still really fast, but the ZH2 is something else. And yeah, again, I feel like the bike is so awesome because we were just doing that, and now we're gonna enter some twisties here and kind of feel how the bike feels from side to side. And it's so comfortable, man. Like, it's like you give up nothing having a ZH2.
Exactly. Yeah. I mean, traffic, city. Like, we've been sitting in traffic. It's not that bad.
Nah.
The city would be totally fine. Yeah, your back is completely, for me especially, straight. My legs are not cramping even when I'm banging the quick shifter because of how straight they are. It's an extremely comfortable bike to ride.
Yeah, it's a bummer we're behind this landscaping, guys. Probably not going to be able to take these corners at any type of meaningful speed, but that's okay. That's all right.
That is street riding.
Exactly, yeah. You go landscape car speeds. Well, since we are going a little slower here and we're not quite at the twisties yet, anything else you're feeling on the bike?
Did you put that baffle in it? I'm wondering if this is with or without baffle.
Oh, that's without the baffle. Come on, Josh.
Oh, okay, I figure so much. It's loud.
Yeah, it's hell loud.
So that after 2 hours, I think, would be the only thing that I'd be like, I've had enough of, I think.
Yeah.
The sound is so exciting and rewarding when you're doing like crazy stuff, but you're not doing that the whole time. And in this type of setting, I'd probably would be okay with it just a little quieter. Other than that though, man, this is a really cool bike. Very comfortable. It's incredibly fast. And it's so smooth. I think that's kind of surprised me. I was expecting like all this aggression would translate to kind of like forceful and, I don't know, rigid type of riding experience, but it's not. It's like incredibly smooth, especially when it's accelerating. And I guess that's because that's what they made it to do.
Yeah, and that's why it's so cool compared to something like I don't know, a Turbo Hayabusa or something like that, is that that bike is, it was designed by Kawasaki to have that kind of power and to take care of you and to do all that, versus like some hodgepodge backyard Turbo Hayabusa that I may or may not have already ridden that is, so much more rowdy and difficult to manhandle and to actually to ride. Like, if you start looping on a bike like that, you're screwed, like,
right.
You got to actually know how to lay off the throttle. It's not going to take care of you. So it's cool that the ZH2 has all those features, man. I think it's great for any kind of rider. There's a great quote I like about electronics on motorcycles. It's like, the electronics are there for when you're not riding at your 100%. They'll save you at that final 10%. Like if you're riding at 90% and you're not all there, they're there to help you at those last 10% and to really guide you through. And I just think it's great, especially when they're as non-intrusive as the ZH2s. Like, you never feel like the electronics are doing much except when they have to help you,
definitely. Now, I don't want to be here emboldening the street squids or anything and saying
I
that,
do.
yo, I know you do. I don't, though. I think it's bad all around for motorcycling to have people doing what we're doing right now on the streets. But I get it. It's crazy fun. And, I mean, I don't think I'd be able to own a bike like this and ride like that every single day, everywhere I went, and continue to get lucky.
Oh, no way. Yeah. I feel like when you ride the CH2, you're living on borrowed time.
Exactly. Exactly. Especially because of how fun it is to do that, and how much that's what I'm thinking about right now. Like, man, when's the road gonna open up, or when's this guy gonna move? Because all you're thinking about is that drug, that speed drug.
But that bike, much like you said, like you get on the throttle and you black out, as you mentioned, like it does happen from corner to corner where that bike will go way faster than you think you're going, and then you can't slow down for the corner. So you have to be super responsible when you ride it in the twisties because of that reason, because it does pick up so much speed so quickly.
Yeah, absolutely. I totally believe it. And braking is a thing that, I mean, you got to have some skill at to really get on the brakes, even with this type of stuff, because you're not gonna be able to turn if your like ABS is active and stuff. Yeah, this bike is absolutely bananas. It's so cool.
Yeah, I've really enjoyed the ZH2. I didn't think I'd like it when I first got it, but then I spent a lot of time with it, and I was like, dude, I love this thing. It's crazy.
Yeah.
I'm curious to hear what you think, though. For me, that bike, the throttle is... it's not as direct as I would like, personally. You can actually feel like it's a very computer-controlled throttle. What do you think?
Yeah, I do kind of feel like that a little bit, especially more so on the D-cell and on like the neutral throttle. I feel it like... I don't know, because I was giving it some inputs that I thought were kind of weird at the speed and gear that I was in, and it felt a little lurchy, and it's just like kind of adjusting without me making conscious inputs to my wrist to kind of be smoother here in second or third gear on slow roads. I don't know if that's what you mean. I definitely don't feel it when we're going fast, because it's just like twist and pure speed.
Yeah, I was curious what you felt like for like the on-off throttle and the general feel of the throttle. It's like fine in my opinion, like it works, but it's not as buttery smooth as like, I mean, I feel like the RS660 has a fantastic throttle.
Yeah, it, like right now it feels confused being in second gear going downhill with idle throttle. It like wants to decel, but it doesn't exactly like what I'm doing. Who knows? I'm sure someone or some 1,000 people will chime off in the comments letting me know about exactly why the engine and supercharger are making those effects and how little I know.
Yeah, I couldn't tell you. Well, let me ask you this. Who do you think that bike is for? Because I have a hard time trying to figure out who exactly would get that bike personally.
Yeah. It's not for me.
It's not for you?
No, I really think I'd hurt myself if I owned this bike, honestly.
What's funny is probably the first 2 weeks I had it, I was really kind of like, man, I could make the case for this bike for myself because it's so fun, but...
Well, you've got a lot more experience handling when the wheel lifts and, gauging your speed coming into a corner. I mean, there's no doubt that you do a whole lot more of that than I ever have. And so I could see it for someone like you. I wouldn't say it's someone like me, but
I mean, because it is overkill. Like, I mean, don't get me wrong, like that was definitely the final conclusion I had with it, that I didn't want one for myself, because I was like, this bike just is massive overkill for any type of riding. Really.
Right, yeah, exactly. But that being said, there's so many people who ride bikes on the street that is completely overkill.
Totally.
Yes. So
Totally.
maybe all the R1 fellas and Gixxer 1000 guys would really enjoy this. It's so comfortable. But yeah, if you ride leader bikes on the street and haven't ridden this, you really ought to. It's crazy fun and crazy comfortable.
Yeah.
Like leaning way over on a sport bike with, a 30, 40 pound backpack on because you're going for a full day ride or something like that. Awful. But doing it with this bike, I mean, I would love to go ride this out to Dripping Springs or Marble Falls or something like that.
Maybe not with that exhaust, but yeah.
Yeah, some better earplugs.
Yeah, it really drones on. Right now, that bike is set up to be like a quick burst kind of bike. You jump on it, you have some fun, and then you jump off of it. It's kind of like a quick cocaine break,
Yeah, absolutely.
Casual cocaine break.
Yeah. Little lunchtime ZH2.
Yeah.
But yeah, I mean, going through these roads, I feel so, like, I don't want to open the throttle at all. I just want to kind of like poodle through while I'm turning, while I'm leaned over. Whereas when I jump on the bike you're on, I don't feel that way. I feel a lot more confident on that bike.
Yeah.
I think that has a lot to say about who should ride these. And my skill allows me to feel really comfortable on that Aprilia. And on this bike, I feel like I have to be extremely careful.
Yeah. There's definitely that element of the ZH2. It's kind of like it's like, you know, holding a loaded gun or something. You know, it's a thing you have to be very careful with.
He asked for it.
Oh, he did?
Yeah.
Got to give the people what they want.
Everybody wants, yeah, it's a ZH2. He probably knew. He's like, oh, I would love to hear that thing rev. Yeah, the D-cell downhill just does this weird thing. Can you hear it making that noise?
I think so.
Okay, let's see. It's when it's if I'm on the throttle. Like if I completely come off the throttle, it's fine and just decelerating. But when I give it like neutral throttle downhill like this, it does this weird like growling type thing. Sounds cool, but it does sound weird.
Well, I'm glad you got to experience the almighty power of the ZH2, Josh. I feel like it was a rite of passage, you know?
Oh, man, yes. Well, thank you. This thing is awesome, and
yeah.
It definitely should be a rite of passage because this is... I can't imagine... I did not imagine that it was going to be like this. You know what I mean?
Oh, really?
You kind of work it up in your head, but probably because I've never ridden a bike anywhere close to this. But I didn't like the Super Duke that I rode, and I do like this. So I don't know what that has to say. Maybe just about the type of bikes that I like.
I think you really hurt Spite's feelings when you didn't like the Super Duke.
It's pretty and it sounds cool, but yeah, I just didn't. I don't know. I didn't feel very comfortable on it. Not ergonomically speaking, mentally, I guess. I don't know.
Just power everywhere, dude. That's ridiculous.
Yeah.
You just warped by me. Jesus Christ.
No. Yeah, on any normal bike, I would have just caught up to you.
Yeah. So I think we'll wrap up the video here. Hope you enjoyed your first ride on the ZH2. But there's one final note I wanted to tell you. As I mentioned about a Turbo Hayabusa that I may or may not already have and ridden and stuff. I mean it when I say it, that bike makes that bike feel slow.
Jeez. Oh my goodness. Yeah,
serious,
you're a
dude.
lunatic, man. You are a lunatic. I can't imagine anything making this feel slow.
Yeah, no, that bike does though. It's horrifying. I can't wait to show everyone at 1 million subscribers because it's it's awesome.
Yeah, if everyone could please go ahead and subscribe so I can get on that bike.
It's currently under wraps, the Yammie Noob HQ. You guys got to subscribe. We got to hit that 1 milli. We're almost done with the build on it. So if you guys want, just get going. Subscribe. But yeah, remember guys, we're giving both of these bikes away. Plenty of other bikes too. We got the Rebel 1100, we got the Trident 660, and a $6,000 cash prize. We got this Aprilia RS 660, and of course, the ZH2 back there. Hit the links down below and check out the cool stuff we've got going on over at YammieNoob.co and YammieNoobMerch.com. We'll catch you in the next one. See you later.
Wow, look how pretty this is. You know what else is pretty? My beautiful face and this next Yammie Noob video. Click it right over here and check it out for yourself. There's fun memes in it, maybe Hayabusas, maybe some cool stuff. There's only one way to find out. Click that video. Do it now.